clean water, clean air, and a suitable place to live. That's all we really need to survive. But it's also what the over 1,400 species of wildlife in our state need.
Where else are you going to go and find such a rich biodiversity that still exists in this river? There's no place like this in the country. Believe me, pretty doggone unique.
For nearly 60 years now, the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency has been a leader in the preservation, conservation, management, and enhancement of Tennessee's fish and wildlife. Before the creation of the agency in 1949, known then as the Tennessee Game and Fish Commission, biologists estimated that fewer than 1,000 deer were left in Tennessee, and the few wild turkeys remaining were present in only 18 of the state's 95 counties. The TWRA's methodical wildlife management yielded tremendous results, bringing the deer herd from 1,000 animals statewide to nearly 1 million strong today. Likewise, the wild turkey population is estimated to be 300,000 with healthy flocks in each of Tennessee's 95 counties. In 1974, the Tennessee Game and Fish Commission was reorganized and renamed the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency to reflect its commitment to all wildlife and all citizens of the state, an expanded mission that superseded its traditional hook and bullet role in state government.
Our job as an agency is to make sure that we keep every species that we had around for the next generation to enjoy, to have. So we're just doing our job.
The bald eagle, the river otter, the lake sturgeon, the golden eagle, and the osprey. Just a few of the successes and ongoing programs the agency has been involved with. Over the years, most of the bills have been paid by Tennessee sportsmen through the purchase of licenses to hunt and fish, even though only a relative handful of species are considered game. In today's rapidly changing world, the business model that has funded TWRA for nearly 60 years may be unsustainable. Population growth and changes in demographics that are predicted to occur in the next 20 to 30 years suggest that a change is inevitable. License sales over the past 20 years have remained relatively stagnant, while the general population has increased by more than 25%. Over 50% of Tennessee residents reside in urban, suburban versus rural areas, and this percentage is expected to increase. A funding model that protects its traditional customers, but also invites the bird watcher, the naturalist,
got two of them here. Excellent.
the hiker, canoer, and kayaker to help pay the bills. This is a trend enjoying success in other states such as Virginia, Arkansas, and Missouri.
Almost there.
We've leveraged our dollars. We've been innovative. We bought about 4,000 acres down there on the Wolf, and if you float through there, you see the cypress swamp. It's nature. It's beautiful.
I declare the walls of Jericho officially open.
I think these opportunities to preserve this beautiful heritage we have in Tennessee, this beautiful land for future generations, is one of those things that makes these jobs worthwhile. I wouldn't miss this for the world.
There's a need to protect sensitive areas. There's a need for the public, for others in Tennessee who want to travel to areas, who want to have places where they can go hiking, where they can go bird watching, where they can go hunting. There's an increasing need for these public lands which are available to everyone.
In 1974, the Tennessee legislature passed a Non-Game Wildlife Conservation Act to support and protect the various species that were, up until that time, totally left out of the loop. One of the stipulations included in the act was that adequate funding should be made available to the agency annually by appropriations from the general fund or from other sources to match federal funds for management of non-game and endangered species, and still is funded by sportsmen's dollars. Tennessee tax revenues already reap the benefits of the 2.4 million wildlife watchers who spend an estimated $992 million every year in our state on wildlife watching related activities. And as this trend increases, more pressure is put on habitats already fragmented due to urban and suburban development.
We don't really know species inventory here. There's some turtles that Dr. Cobb should be finding that he has not found yet.
The goal of the TWRA is to reduce habitat loss, to collect data on Tennessee's rare species and their habitats, and to work with the federal government in providing assistance to private landowners.
My old cows, they'll get used to not being able to stand in that creek.
This is a legacy we need to leave to our children, our grandchildren, so that we don't have everything paved over.
Hunting equipment sales currently produce approximately $22 million per year in state sales tax. 330,000 Tennesseans hunt each year. A sound program for habitat management on public and private lands is necessary for this tradition to continue. In the last 10 years, Tennessee's hunters have lost access to more than 400,000 acres of corporate timberlands that were made available to them through the agency's Public Hunting Area program. Access to public lands has been identified as the #1 issue by sportsmen.
The volume of hunters and fishermen will diminish across time if there's no place to hunt and fish. And so it's very important to us that we provide places for people to recreate.
TWRA annually stocks 6 million fish of various species to maintain fisheries for 900,000 anglers who spend approximately $600 million annually on fishing trips and equipment. This adds over $54 million in state sales tax revenue.
It's a fish. Well, it's pretty. It's got red eyes.
Nature can't keep up with the demands of the environment and fishermen. So we produce fish to stock into lakes and rivers for people to catch. Striped bass, hybrid striped bass. We raise channel catfish, bluegill, largemouth bass, smallmouth, just about any sport species that a sportsman would want to go catch.
The existing hatchery program is currently at capacity and in need of some repairs to sustain its current production. Increasing loss of stream access statewide and the lack of urban fishing opportunities to compensate for the population shift to urban living have both caused losses in recreation and tourism revenue.
How does it get better?
Approximately 110,000 more anglers in Tennessee would create an additional $120 million in trip expenditures.
Beautiful.
Better hatcheries, more access, increased urban fishing opportunity.
Another day in paradise.
Tennessee is listed as one of the top 10 states in which to boat. And almost half of all Tennesseans are boaters.
Our resource is people. Our concentrated effort is on their safety and on their satisfaction of having just an all-round enjoyable day. I feel that if people are better educated or even better aware, it automatically makes them safer on the water.
They float, you don't.
Hey guys, do you have a life jacket for everybody on board?
As the state's population increases, the number of people increases that are utilizing our services and demand our services.
We're out here strictly to provide safety, to ensure safety for the boating public during the ball games. Affirmative.
Lake visitation is a major economic factor for many of the state's communities. Boating recreation at Percy Priest Lake and Old Hickory Lake alone generates $275 million per year in visitor spending. Early exposure to the outdoors is essential for healthy childhood development.
I find more and more the schools that I go to, children, or even high school age, really have less of a feel of what's natural or native to this state than they used to. Are you real? Bobby's real.
They can learn that there is a lot more in life than the TV and the computer, to go actually outside and experience life itself. I think it's crucial. It really is.
Put a child in a natural setting and they are just instantly curious about what's there. Something a parent needs to encourage along with respect for what they find.
It somehow keeps kids out of trouble to have them connected with the outdoors in some way.
I see a chickadee. Oh, can you guys come on?
Education needs to reach not only young students, but all citizens of our state.
In conservation, we always say people don't care anything about things that they don't know. No one's going to care if you destroy a huge forest and then all the birds in there die if they don't know there were no birds there in the first place. But if all of a sudden they know that there are actually 100 different types of birds in that forest, that's what helps to initiate that type of thinking, like, wow, we're really having an impact, a really broad impact.
Through TV programs like Tennessee's Wild Side, newspaper and magazine articles, our own agency website,
you're likely to find an answer to most any question that concerns hunting, fishing, boating, watchable wildlife.
The TWRA currently has 179 full-time wildlife officers and investigators. Wildlife officers are commissioned peace officers of the state, providing services to citizens and visitors in Tennessee. Their principal duties are broader based than any other state law enforcement official and include wildlife education, natural resource management, and law enforcement on land and waterways. They respond to search and rescue operations, as well as homeland security crises. As Tennessee's population grows, use of public land and waterways increases, which in turn increases the volume of requests for assistance.
I want Tennessee to be a place that's known as an outdoors place. In a world that's getting more and more urbanized and more cities where people can come and they can hunt, and they can fish, and they can camp, and they can just enjoy the outdoors. And TWRA is an important part of protecting that. It's an important part of investing in it.
Improve habitat to protect wildlife. That's what we're here for. If they're sick, then we know that us humans is just right behind. Look at them down here. They're absolutely all over the bottom. Oh my gosh.
What kind of legacy will we leave when our days upon this earth are gone? Tell me who will carry on this work that we've begun, care enough to be the keeper of the dream.
Look how big this is! This big giant leaf.
Now more than ever, the time has come to act. Our legacy. We need to build a coalition of like-minded groups to secure funding for wildlife conservation, habitat preservation, and public access, all of which are vital to the sustainability of the agency, its missions and goals, and ultimately the wildlife of our state.